It's okay. You could let it ring. The resonance is incredible in the bell. Good morning, and welcome to worship with the Unitarian Universalist Church of Ventura. I am Pastor Erik. I use he, they pronouns, and welcome to everyone here in the sanctuary, and welcome to everyone on Zoom as well. Whether you've been attending this church for decades or it's your first time here, I am glad you have joined us. This community is the special place that it is, precisely because it is made up of people with many beliefs, identities, origins, sexualities, and genders, and all are welcome here. Oh, and it's not the first Sunday of the month anymore, so I'm not going to remind you about the mass seating area. And now it's time for announcements. And I know we have an annual meeting today. That's a subtle way of announcing it. So I'm going to try to keep it a little shorter, but here we go. If you have an absentee ballot, because you are not going to attend the meeting, you can turn it in to Don Henninger. Signed, please. It has to be signed. If you don't sign it, yeah, it doesn't count. And because you have turned in an absentee ballot, your attendance counts towards the quorum that I'm not going to talk about today, that is 70. And if we don't hit 70, what happens? Another annual meeting. Please do your best to attend. And a reminder that Liminal Church will be starting their services today at 4 p.m., with setup starting at 2 p.m. here in the sanctuary and in Berg Hall. So if you see people around, they are from Liminal Church. Please say hi to them. They're very friendly. Oxnard Pride Festival is today, June 14th, from 10 to 5 in Heritage Square. And if you don't know where that is, I think it's correct me if I'm wrong, a little south of Plaza Park. It's a little south. It's where all of the old historical buildings. A and 7th. A and 7th Streets. And it's from 10 to 5. Amy Dubinsky, who is not present that I see, is there manning the table as we speak, since it started. Who? Staffing, not standing at, staffing the table. Go join her. You can join her. I believe you can do that. It is indeed a tough crowd today. This Sunday and next Sunday, members and pledging friends have the opportunity to vote for the organizations that will receive our offerings via Share the Plate, of which we give away 100%. For July through October. So make sure that you vote. The ballots and pens are available as you leave the sanctuary today, going into Berg Hall through either set of doors. And then I think they move into Berg Hall so that you can keep voting during coffee half hour. Because today, annual meeting, it's going to be abbreviated for those of you who choose to attend the annual meeting. 70 of you. Tuesday is in-person pub theology at Victoria Pub. We start at 6. So please come to that if you want to chat about theological things, whatever that may be. And again, today is the annual meeting. We're at the end of stewardship, but of course you can always change your pledge or pledge. So if you haven't done so yet, there are many ways to do so. Please do so when you can. And we appreciate it. Let's see, anything else? That's it. Please read UUCV this week if you want to know about everything else that goes on in the life of this church. Our land acknowledgement lifts up the Chumash of Mitzkanakan, now known as Ventura, and Saaktakoi, who have stewarded their ancestral and unceded territory for the last at least 11,000 years. This service takes place on land only a few miles from either Chumash village. We honor the Chumash of Mitzkanakan and Saaktakoy, as well as other historic Chumash locations in Ventura County. We include their ancestors, the elders, and their descendants as they continue their deep spiritual and cultural connection to these lands and waters. The act of doing is a sacred act. Thinking, planning, strategizing. These are sacred acts too. But sometimes the most sacred act is lifting a shovel, or swinging a hammer, or moving chairs, or dragging a fallen tree branch out of the way, or voting at an annual meeting. May this be a sacred space of doing. May it be so.
Good morning. I am Worship Associate Xina Kingshill. It's great to be here with all of you today, those of you here in the sanctuary, and those of you at home through the wonders of technology. Welcome. Friends at home, please, you are invited to light a candle as we light our chalice here in the sanctuary with a very expert lighter today. Yeah, very good. This morning's call to worship is titled Forged in the Fire of Our Coming Together by Gretchen Haley. What's going to happen? Will everything be okay? What can I do? In these days, we find ourselves too often stuck with these questions on repeat. What's going to happen? Will everything be okay? What can I do? We grasp at signs and markers, articles of news and analysis, Facebook memes, and forwarded emails, as if the new zodiac, capable of forecasting all that life may yet bring our way, as if we could prepare, as if life had ever made any promises of making sense or turning out the way we thought, as if we are not also actors in this unfolding story. For this hour, we gather to surrender to the mystery, to release ourselves from the needing to know, the yearning to have it all figured out, and also the burden of believing we either have all the control or none. Here in our song and our silence, our stories and our sharing, we make space for a new breath, a new healing, a new possibility to take root. That is courage, forged in the fire of our coming together, and felt in the spirit that comes alive in this act of faith, that we believe still a new world is possible, that we are creating it already, here and now. Come, let us worship together.
Well, good morning, y'all. I'm Zach Spencer. I invite you all to rise in spirit or in body as you are able, as we sing together number 1024, When the Spirit Says Do.
Says
got to sing when the Spirit says sing. You gotta sing when the Spirit says sing. When the Spirit says sing, you got to sing, oh Lord. You got to sing when the Spirit says sing. 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 You gotta dance when the Spirit says dance. You gotta dance when the Spirit says dance. When the Spirit says dance, you gotta dance, oh Lord. You gotta dance when the Spirit says dance. 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 You gotta laugh when the Spirit says laugh. You gotta laugh when the Spirit says laugh. If the Spirit says laugh, you gotta laugh, oh Lord. You gotta laugh when the Spirit says laugh. 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 You gotta shout when the Spirit says shout. You gotta shout when the Spirit says shout. When the Spirit says shout, you gotta shout, oh Lord. You gotta shout when the Spirit says shout. 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 Spirit says
And now I'd like to invite all of our young folks and young at heart to come up here for the story today. Gather up the donations for Ride Alliance 805 and Poder Popular as you come to the front.
From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live.
Today's story is called The Sound of One Hand. Once upon a time in ancient Japan, Kenin Temple had a teacher named Mokurai, or Silent Thunder. Mokurai had a young protege named Toyo who was only 12 years old. So someday this story could happen to any of you if you choose to study in a Buddhist temple. Toyo saw the older disciples visit the master's classroom each morning and evening to receive instruction in Sanzen, during which they were given koans to stop their minds from wandering. Now, young Toro, not wanting to be left out of anything the older teenage students were doing, wished to do Sanzen also. Master Mokurai, please let me start Sanzen. I can do it, pled young Toro. Wait a while, said Mokurai. You are too young to do this. But week after week, Toro would continue to ask, insisting they were ready. So finally, Mokurai consented, asking Toyo to join him in the classroom that evening with the older students. And that evening, Toyo went to the classroom, waiting respectfully until everyone else had entered. Toyo struck the gong outside of the room to announce his presence. He bowed 3 times at the door and went to sit before the master in respectful silence. You can hear the sound of two hands when they clap together, said Mokurai. Now show me the sound of one hand. Toyo rose after this admonition, bowing deeply, and went to consider this problem. From Toyo's room near the busy street that ran by the school, the music of the geishas played in a courtyard near the school, wafted through the evening air. Ah, I have it, Toyo proclaimed, grabbing the shamisen, that's a musical instrument, from its stand and imitating the music floating through the air. The next evening, when Mokurai asked Toyo to illustrate the sound of one hand, Toyo began to play the music of the geishas on the shamisen. No, said Mokurai, that's not going to work. That is not the sound of one hand. You've not got it at all. Thinking that this music of the geishas might interrupt meditation, Toyo instead found a quiet room somewhere else at the school. For a week, Toyo meditated, all the while silently asking, what can the sound of one hand be? After 7 days of chores and 7 mornings and evenings of meditation, Toyo happened to hear from the nearby kitchen some water dripping into a pail. I have it, said Toyo. Do you have a question? No? I saw a hand up. It's okay. You don't have to have a question. So when it was next time to appear before Mokurai, Toyo imitated dripping water. Can anyone imitate the sound of dripping water? Yes. That sounds like what he did. Very good. What is that? Asked Mokurai. I think you were making the sound of dripping water, but not the sound of one hand. Try again. Toyo returned to this routine, doing chores during the day and meditating in the morning and evening, concentrating on every minute of every hour, striving to hear the sound of one hand. Toyo heard the sighing of the wind blowing through the trees behind the school. But this sound was refused by Mokurai. Toyo heard the cry of an owl in the pre-dawn light. That's how much meditating he was doing. He was up before dawn. This was also refused, though. The sound of one hand was not the locusts chirping in the cool night air. In total, Toyo visited Mokurai with different sounds more than 20 times. All were refused by the teacher. For almost a year, Toyo pondered what the sound of one hand might be. One night, much like the evening when Toyo had convinced Mokurai to grant him sanzen, Toyo settled in to meditate. With deep breaths, Toyo shut out the sound of the geishas shamisens. The sighing wind, it just passed around Toyo. The owl hooted just outside of the room, but Toyo, still aware that the owl was singing, did not listen to its song. Locusts chirped, but Toyo did not pay attention to that either. Now, Mokurai, done with his teaching for the day, had decided to visit the kitchen for an evening snack. As he passed by Toyo's room, he glanced at his pupil. Seeing Toyo sitting motionless, Mokurai entered the room and sat silently in front of Toyo. After a rather long period of time, Toyo's eyes slowly opened. Seeing Mokurai sitting silently, Toyo started to stand up, already bowing respectfully as he did this. But Mokurai motioned Toyo to sit, didn't even let him stand up. What have you learned? He asked of Toyo. Toyo sat silently, pondering his question before responding after a time. All the sounds that I brought to you, thinking that they were the sound of one hand, they were not. But I had to hear them before I could reach the soundless sound. Toyo had realized the sound of one hand. And that's our story for today. I'll let you ponder it. Let us sing our children out to their class.
Heart be at peace as you go.
every Sunday, whatever lands in our collection basket, box, whatever you want to call it, or is submitted electronically or by text, doesn't stay here. We pass it along to organizations making a difference in the wider community, or to funds that support members of our own congregation. It's one way we put our values into motion, turning generosity into action and helping build a more compassionate world now and for the future. Folks in the sanctuary can text to give by following the number on the screen, or can drop a check or cash in the box that's at the back of the sanctuary, either during the offertory music or after the service. For today, our collection goes to Friends of Field Workers. Founded in 2015, Friends of Field Workers support, celebrate, and advocate for farm worker families in Ventura County. This local nonprofit offers many year-round programs, including scholarships, emergency assistance, farm visits, and resource fairs that connect families to health care, education, and vital services. In times of crisis, they are able to mobilize quickly, delivering disaster relief, installing smoke alarms, and partnering with Ventura County VOAD, V-O-A-D, volunteer organizations active in disasters, to strengthen emergency response alongside offering mental health and legal resource support. The work of this organization is grounded in direct everyday support, from farm visits and free laundry services to distributing food, household supplies, diapers, backpacks, holiday gifts, Halloween costumes, and work boots. They meet families where they are. Rooted in dignity and community collaboration, they are committed to uplifting farm worker families across Ventura County. Thank you for your generosity in supporting this vital organization that is making a difference to the farm worker families in our community.
Love is but a song we sing, and fear's the way we die. You can make the mountains ring, or make the angels cry. Though the bird is on the wing, and you may not know why. Come on, people, now, smile on each other. Everybody get together, try to love one another right now. Some may come and some may go. Time will surely pass. But with this world and so much pain, we need to act at last. We are but a moment's sunlight fading in the grass. Come on, people, now, smile on each other. Everybody get together, try to love one another right now. Come on, people, now, smile on each other. Everybody get together, try to love one another right now. If you hear the song I sing, you will understand. Listen. We hold the key to love and fear, all in our trembling hands. Just one key unlocks them both. It's there at our command. Come on, people now, smile on each other, everybody get together, try to love one another right now. Join us, please. Come on, people now, smile on each other, everybody get together, try to love one another right now. Come on, people now, smile on each other, everybody get together, try to love one another right now, right now.
Thank you for your generosity today. Whether you give, receive, volunteer, or simply show up with an open heart, you are part of this shared work of building a more compassionate world.
Today, I share some very sad news. Martha Caslow passed peacefully on Wednesday morning. She was a longtime UU, being very active at the church, the UU church in Riverside, before moving here. And she was on the board of directors for Camp de Benneville Pines and strived to get as many people, especially youth, up into the mountains to visit our wonderful camp. In remembrance of Martha, we light a memorial candle from the chalice flame, honoring Martha's commitment to Unitarian Universalism and to Camp de Benneville Pines. In mystery, we are born. In mystery, we live. And in mystery, we die. May we hold Martha and her family and friends in our hearts and in our prayers. Amen.
Each week, we take a few moments to pause in the middle of our busy lives to notice what is shaping us right now. Today, we place stones in the water. Each stone holds a small piece of what we are holding inside. As it touches the surface, ripples move outward, reminding us how connected we are to one another. If you would like to have a joy or sorrow shared on a Sunday morning, you can submit it through the link on our website, uuventura.org, or through our Thursday email, UUCV this week. If it's received by 8 p.m. on Saturday, it will usually be shared the next day. Pastor Erik will now place one final stone in the water for all the joys and sorrows just shared and those yet unspoken in the silent sanctuary of our hearts. May these joys and sorrows remind us that our lives are bound together and that in this community, no one carries them alone.
Please remain seated as we join each other in singing hymn number 1009, Meditation on Breathing. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out.
Our reading today is from the Tao Te Ching, Lao Tzu, chapter 39. These things from ancient times arise from one. The sky is whole and clear. The earth is whole and firm. The spirit is whole and strong. The valley is whole and full. The 10,000 things are whole and alive. Leaders are whole and the country is upright. All these are in virtue of wholeness. The clarity of the sky prevents it falling. The firmness of the earth prevents it splitting. The strength of the spirit prevents it being used up. The fullness of the valley prevents it running dry. The growth of the 10,000 things prevents them from dying out. The leadership of leaders prevents the downfall of the country. Therefore, the humble is the root of the noble. The low is the foundation of the high. Leaders consider themselves orphaned, widowed, and worthless. Do they not depend on being humble? Too much success is not an advantage. Do not tinkle like jade or clatter like stone chimes.
I invite you now into a time of meditation. Place your feet upon the floor, close your eyes if you wish, and breathe in and breathe out, noticing your breath both as it comes in and it goes out. Breathe in and feel your heart beating rhythmically in your chest. Breathe out and sense the rhythms of this community. Breathe in and feel the love of this community. Breathe out and sense the interconnectedness of us all. Breathe in and feel the happiness and sadness and all the other emotions that are coursing through you. Breathe out and sense how those around you are feeling right now. Know that as you breathe, the sacred breathes with you. relax in this moment, and just breathe.
Secret of life is enjoying the passage of time. Any fool can do it. There ain't nothing to it. Nobody knows how we got to the top of the hill.
Since we're on our way down, we might as well enjoy the ride.
Secret of love is in opening up your heart.
Open up your heart.
It's okay to feel afraid. Don't let that stand in your way. 'Cause anyone knows that love is the only road.
Since we're only here for a while, might as well show some style.
Give us a smile. Isn't it a lovely ride?
Lovely ride.
Sliding down, I'll be gliding down. Try not to try too hard. It's just a lovely ride. Now the thing about time is that time isn't really real.
It isn't really real.
Just your point of view. How does it feel for you? Einstein said he could never understand it all. Planets spinning through space, smile upon your face. Welcome to the human race. Isn't it a lovely ride?
Lovely ride.
Sliding down, I'll be gliding down. Try not to try too hard, it's just a lovely ride. Isn't it a lovely ride?
Lovely ride.
Sliding down, I'll be gliding down. Try not to try too hard, it's just a lovely ride. Secret of life is enjoying the passage of time.
Thank you, Kent and Sue. So I want you to think about our opening hymn, When the Spirit Says Do. That was the title of the service today. That was the first hymn we sang. We're not going to sing it again, don't worry. We can change it out if you want to start the annual meeting now and 70 of you will stay, you can vote and we will sing that hymn again. I'm just going to hammer on that until everyone's here. When the Spirit says do, what is it asking us? You've got to do when the Spirit says do, right? That's the whole song over and over. You got to dance when it, but do, that's the thing. You just insert any word you want in there. And it's not when the Spirit says, think about it forever. It's not when the Spirit says, form a committee to discuss whether doing is theologically appropriate in a Unitarian Universalist church. Not even when the Spirit says, wait until we feel completely ready to start. The song says, when the Spirit says do, you do. And this can be both an inspiring thing, right? I see something, I need to do it. And it can be difficult because we can't always do that. And there are other things, and there can be anxiety about starting the project because once you start it, you got to finish it. And churches are very good at remembering who we are at our core. We're good at caring for each other, and we're good at caring for the community. And churches are sometimes less good at moving when movement is required. And the question is, what are we being called into right now in this moment in time? And I don't think we're going to answer it today. It's really something for all of us to think about. We're having the annual meeting. We're going to vote on things. And then we start a new church year. Church life moves with rhythm and in patterns. And we don't always know what exactly is going to come next. But we can learn to recognize moments when patterns start shifting. And the annual meeting is one of those moments. The end of the church year, one of those moments. It's not just a business meeting where we do business things. It's a communal change point where the congregation listens together for what the Spirit is asking us to do. And that makes it a natural time to ask. And again, this is not homework. Well, maybe it is a little bit of homework, but it's not what we're going to do at the annual meeting, but it's what we should all be doing maybe internally. What have we been doing? What are we becoming? How do we interact with this church as individuals? Are we consumers of church? Are we caretakers of church? Or co-creators of church? What is the Spirit asking us to do now? Here, today, with the annual meeting, is a great moment to notice where we are. A congregation is not only a place we attend, it is a system. And it is a system rife with rhythms, not with patterns of which each of us is a part. And within churches, there's patterns of change that happened. And we often talk about change as something that only happens when there's a major decision to be made, maybe a new minister coming in, a new program the church is going to support as a whole, a big building project, like a capital campaign-sized building project, something really big that the whole church has to get behind, or a big crisis. Something happens. Maybe there's a conflict or something like that. Sometimes there's a big vote about something really, really important to the church. Those are times, we all know those are times of change. But change happens not just during those big events, it happens all the time. New people arrive at church with the red stickers the name tags. You get like the first time or yeah, there's a few people today. Welcome to the annual meeting day. It's like, hey, that church does all business stuff. No, we don't. Once a year today. Longtime members might say, I'm taking a break for a little bit. That's change. Children grow up. They go through coming of age and bridging, and they go off to college, and we don't see them anymore, and maybe they come back or maybe they don't because they have their own lives. Staff roles change. Not all the time, but sometimes, and sometimes a lot in a short period of time. The building gets used differently. New tenants come in and out of the building. The neighborhood changes around us, something that we can't control, right? Somebody builds a new building next to the church, or new folks move in next door and they do something different. Things we can't control. The budget tells us things about our priorities each year, and we have to adapt to those. And sometimes the congregation might start thinking to itself, the way we've always done it no longer fits the life that we actually have. So there's lots of different things that can happen that are changed that aren't massive things. And the point is that change is not the interruption of the life of the church. It's an inherent part of the church. It's not something we can avoid. It happens every day. So we're going to try something now. So in some forms of dance music, especially house music, there's a pattern of change every 2 bars. Okay? 2 bars, it's a small section of a song, right? So it's like four measures. Is that a good way to think about it? 4 measures. And so anyone here who's a musician can correct me if I'm wrong or say, oh, yeah, you got it. So every 4 bars, every 8 bars. No, every 2 bars, 8 measures. See, I'm not a musician by any means. Good. Well, thank you, Dawn. Okay. Something shifts in the song. Okay? A sound drops out, something new is added, a beat opens up, a new texture appears. You want to try giving us a beat? Okay, so there's 1. Keep going. And then here's the second, and then maybe it goes on 6 8s. And then something new. See? And there you have it. That's good. That's our house music for the day. We could keep going, and we could keep adding things, and then maybe someone would start singing, and there would be some lyric. I was thinking about singing the next. I'm not going to do that to you. You know, and there's these new textures that open up in the song, and things are added to it. And some things eventually drop out of the song, and something new comes in, and it just keeps going. And after about, I don't know, depending on if it's the extended remix, maybe 6 or 7 minutes, normally 3 or 4. But we're talking about the church year. We're talking about months. We're talking about decades. These rhythms go through the life of the church in perpetuity from day one and on and on and on. And the change, it isn't exactly random or not random. Some things are not random and some things are. And so as opposed to naming them all, there's just a pattern to it all. No matter what we do, sometimes new people will show up or they won't. It's kind of random, but it happens pretty often. So throughout the year, We have a lot of different things happening. We have Sunday worship. That's on a pattern. It's on Sundays, 52 times a year. And there's some other days we have Christmas Eve. That's an extra service. Sometimes it falls on a Sunday, most of the time not. There's coffee hour. There's a pattern to that. You go in and you get your coffee and your bagel, or maybe it's pop day. Patterns. Small groups have patterns. They meet weekly or monthly or whatever they meet on, or bi-weekly. There's committee meetings. Everything is part of this pattern. And the annual meeting is one of the known change points in the pattern. We know roughly what kinds of things happen there. There's reports, elections, we talk about the budget, there's decisions made, questions, there's gratitude for people who have served, and maybe some parliamentary procedure on top of it. But we don't know exactly what's going to happen until people show up and participate. That's the nature of congregationalism. It's a democracy. But at the heart of all of this is that the annual meeting is not the boring thing after coffee hour. It is hardly that. It's a ritual of shared agency in which each of us, and all of you more than me, or any of the other staff, you gather in community to make sacred decisions about the rhythms of this intentional community, this congregation. And yes, it has business, and yes, there are reports, and yes, there are votes, and yes, it happens after coffee hour when some of you would rather go home. But spiritually, it's a moment when the congregation says, this is who we are. This is what we have done. This is what we can sustain. This is who we trust to lead. This is how we will move into the next year together. The annual meeting is a time when the congregation looks in the mirror and says, I see who we are. The Spirit says, do. And the Spirit may move through music, silence, justice, care, grief, joy, and sometimes through budgets, bylaws, ballots, and the willingness to stay after coffee hour. But within this, and we're talking about change, and we've been talking about change a lot over the last few weeks and whatnot, and there is change afoot. Today is the first service of Liminal, right? That's a huge change. They're going to be here doing their style of worship at 4 p.m. Within this kind of, I don't know what to call it, mode of change, we should avoid extremes. Extreme one might be nothing should change. Some people come to church and want stability, right? And we all want some stability in our lives. That's a good thing. And that's real and that is worthy. Church should offer continuity, it should offer memories, and it should offer care for those who need it and who need that style of let's have a pretty steady place. But if nothing changes and the church stops responding to life, to the needs of the community and to the needs of the larger world, where does that end up? It ends up static. And then there's the other extreme. Everything should change, and it should just be change all the time, and it should happen now because it needs to happen now, because otherwise we're not changing. So some of us, we get excited by possibility and we want transformation right now. And if we don't get it, we are unhappy. And that energy is also real and worthy. Maybe not the unhappiness, you got to chill out a little bit, right? But the point is change is a thing and it happens. And so if we ignore it, it still happens. And then we're surprised. And of course, if everything changes at once, it's hard to find a rhythm in the church. So we have to find a balance. And the sacred question is not change or no change. The better sacred question is what kind of change is sacred right now in this moment that we need to do. And what are we actually doing? And again, we talked about it last week a lot. Change is in the air and has been happening for real with the transitions in staff and the changes in building use, so on and so forth. The screen moved back. Did you notice that? Yeah. There's so much more room up here. That's a change. It counts in the list of changes because now it looks different. And everyone's like, something's different. Oh, by the way, nobody has guessed what the change I made is. Keep guessing. You might get it someday. You're a stand-up comic. I am not. I am actually not a stand-up comic. And, you know, there is, I would say, a sense that people are becoming more open to just the discussion about change. I think that that is true. And again, I am not advocating for radical change 100% of the time or 90%, maybe sometimes a little bit, but not a lot. Wherever we are in the song that is the rhythm of this congregation, some kind of change is going to come. And what we need to do is work to make sure that that is part of the melody, that it stays on beat with the rhythm that is this church. So this morning, the invitation, of course, is to stay after coffee hour. I'm calling it coffee hour, but really it'll be like coffee 25 minutes, looking at the clock right now. Yes, I see Xina agrees. So we're going to try to have a quick meeting today, because we already did the budget stuff a month ago, and we spent about an hour, a little more than an hour, talking about everything. So hopefully, you know, what you're going to see is not a surprise, because we talked about it last month. This moment in time is a moment when change is going to happen no matter what we do. When the Spirit says sing, we're going to sing. When the Spirit says care, we're going to care. We're going to care for others, and we're going to care for ourselves. When the Spirit says rest, it's time for rest. And when the Spirit says change, we're going to probably form a committee and talk about it for a while. But when the Spirit says do, we are going to do. And sometimes what the Spirit asks us to do is not a big dramatic thing. Sometimes it is simple and embodied. It is as simple as staying. Not today. I'm saying, like, if someone says, can I talk to you? Yeah, I can hang out for a few minutes and listen. That's staying. We can, like I said, listen to others. We can vote when we need to. We can ask a question. Don't be afraid to ask a question. And we can trust each other. We can join in the work, and we can move with the pattern. The rhythm of the congregation, the music of this congregation is never finished. It repeats, but it doesn't stay the same. It carries old themes from over here, and it introduces new ones, and it kind of becomes a mashup. It asks us to listen for the shift and to find the beat again and to move together. So when the Spirit says do, may we have the courage to do. When the Spirit says change, may we have the wisdom to change faithfully. And when the Spirit says gather, may we gather even after coffee hour, even for the annual meeting, because this too is part of the song. Blessed be Bishamale, and amen.
I invite you again to rise in spirit or in body as you are able, as we sing together number 121, We'll Build a Land. We'll build a land where we bind up the broken. We'll build a land where the captives go free, where the oil of gladness dissolves all mourning. Oh, we'll build a promised land that can be. Come build a land where sisters and brothers, anointed by God, may then create peace, where justice shall roll down like waters, and peace like an ever-flowing stream. We'll build a land where we bring the good tidings of all the afflicted and all those who mourn, and give them garlands instead of ashes. Oh, we'll bring a land where peace is born. Come build a land where sisters and brothers, anointed by God, may then create peace, where justice shall roll down like waters, and peace like an ever-flowing stream. We'll be a land building up ancient cities, raising up devastations from old, restoring ruins of generations. Oh, we'll build a land of people so bold. Come build a land where sisters and brothers, anointed by God, may then create peace, where justice shall roll down like waters, and peace like an ever-flowing stream. Come build a land where the mantles of praises resound from spirits once faint and once sweet, where like hopes of righteousness stand her people. Oh, we'll build a land, my people we seek. Come build a land where sisters and brothers, anointed by God, may then create peace, where justice shall roll down like waters, and peace like an ever-flowing stream.
After the service, we hope that everyone will stay for coffee, tea, bagels, and conversations in Berg Hall for just a few minutes today, not an hour. If you haven't yet, you can drop your offering in the box on the back wall. And if you're visiting, we'd love to meet you. Stop by the connecting table to say hello. It's got a big sign, or a welcome table that's in the hall for more information about our faith and this congregation. And now, please join me in reading the words on the screen as we prepare to extinguish the chalice and the candle. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
It changed back. Ooh. We'll have a discussion about grammar and words at some point and the difference between these and those. I just want to say this has been a difficult week. A week of sadness and loss. Also a week of new beginnings, change. And with our annual meeting after the service, the end of one church year and the beginning of another. I hope you all join us for the meeting after coffee and bagels. It is good work. It is community work. It is sacred work. May it be so. Bishamale and amen.